Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another Buck Junkies podcast. We got the full crew back today, guys.
Full crew.
You feeling better, Mark?
Man, I feel like a new man.
New man.
Kinda.
Minus one organ.
Yeah, minus one gallbladder.
Yeah.
Had to get it gone.
I don't know why it was in there if you didn't need it the
That's
first
kind of what I'm thinking. It's just like, I guess if you act up, if you sin too much, it goes out.
Yeah.
You know.
What puts it out? Bad living.
Bad living. Eating wrong. Probably the Bahamas will do it. Pretty much. I guarantee you. If you're a virgin to the Bahamas and you go the first time, you might as well go ahead and count that gallbladder out.
It's gonna take.
That's what flared yours up.
Oh yeah. It was a good trip. Bad gallbladder. Got the thumbs up today though. Went this morning for a checkup. Said everything looked good.
It's not growing back or anything.
Not growing back. But other than that, it went good though.
Good deal.
I was down for a few days, but it wasn't too bad.
What else are we talking about today?
So this week was my week for topic, and I got to thinking back. We really never really discussed where Buck Junkies come from, and kind of the backstory of Buck Junkies and us as individuals. You know, how we met, before we met, what we do. Just kind of a little bit about us. You know, something a little different, change it up for a little bit, and backstory to all of it. So.
Malcolm good. He'll spill all his guts.
All the guts.
Y'all gonna find out when Malcolm got
like
pulled
Chuck
over in
and the
'93.
It's good to talk.
But I was out last week, so y'all gonna have to give me a recap for what y'all talked about last week.
Mikey led the charge last week, so
We talked about the what ifs.
Yeah, a lot.
it is.
What if there was no deer season? What if you were only able to hunt small game? Will we spend the same amount of money on the stuff that we do, you know, the small game stuff, or will we spend as much time doing it? Or we find other hobbies? You know, just a lot of what ifs there, because there's a lot of states out there that don't have the stuff that we have, or the seasons we have, or the regulations, and you know, we're pretty blessed when it comes to deer hunting to have one of the longest running seasons and probably one of the better seasons.
Yeah, if you
just with
kill
all
more
the
than
different-
more than one deer too.
I don't know. I don't know what we'd do. Go broke fishing, maybe.
We'd find some place to spend it.
Yeah,
We'd probably invest in a lot of squirrel dogs.
We'd flood a lot of land.
yeah.
Make
Got
us a bunch
ducks.
of duck holes. What'd you say? Invest in a lot of dogs?
A lot of dogs.
Squirrel dogs. I'd still like to do that. That's pretty fun.
I had to train Jamie's dog to tree squirrels.
Instead of biscuits.
Oh, she'd tree it. You would never get it back though. I think it'd be ate up before it even hits the ground. But no, so I guess kind of discuss what we went over last week. You know, y'all talked about the what ifs and everything, but you know, y'all just got back from a trade show, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and Mikey went down to a little outdoor, what was it called? The Wildlife Management Trade Show or something like that for a
BWI.
BWI company. Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, it was one of these things where all these they bring out all these vendors for different products, and they kind of show off some of their new stuff, and it gives people that are, I guess, retailing them mainly a place to buy them. So they're kind of like a middleman for all these different brands.
Yeah.
And so me and Mikey just got to go through there and talk to different people, talk to the vendors, and ask questions about products and check out some of the new stuff and
Did you get
get some
anything?
ideas.
Oh,
Man, we
heck
did.
yeah.
Yeah, we did. We got a blind. Me and Mike,
They gave us a blind for free.
we were jacking around with one of the. Y'all seen these Invisiblinds? It's like
The
a.
mirror.
No,
It's not a mirror. No, it's just like a regular blind that we have, except it's see-through mesh.
Oh,
on
the
one
ones you
side.
can. Okay,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
So
all
yeah,
the
you
way
get
through.
it when you get in it, you can see 360. It's like 180 view.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
back,
on
is, back one
the back
wall is
solid.
black.
Yeah.
You can't
Like
see in it,
that.
but you can see out.
That's right. That's right. And it doesn't have the zippered enclosures. It's all little just fasteners. So there's nothing to make noise on it. I mean, it's a nice blind.
That's pretty neat. We were making a video.
Yeah.
We were in it, and we thought it'd be cool just to. I went and hid from Malcolm and had the video
Yeah.
camera on, and Malcolm was looking for me. And anyways, they come over and that guy said, "Well, y'all like that blind so much, I'm just gonna give it to y'all."
Yeah, I think he
Y'all
just
can
didn't want
have
to
it."
take it home.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for y'all.
See, that's the one thing I learned about these trade shows. If you stick around for that last day,
They don't want to take
those
nothing.
guys don't want to take
No.
that stuff home, man. It's like so as soon as you get there, just go ahead and show interest and say, "Man, I'd sure like to take that and try it or something." But
Show up last 5 minutes.
See, I didn't know that going in. Did you, Mikey?
I didn't either.
We didn't know to ask for anything. It's like now, next time we get to go, we might have to. So they had those Browning trail cameras that I've been looking for a while, and they had the Wild Game Innovation ones, the ones that we've been running, the cellular. They had what what other brand does? Do you remember what other brand of cell cams they had? They had Moultrie. Moultrie had a big
was
thing
there
there.
for sure. Did you see a reveal or anything there?
I didn't see Tacticam. Yeah, I didn't see Tacticam. I didn't see Covert. I didn't see any of the.
I didn't see those.
Spartan. Spartan may have been there. I can't remember.
We had a pretty big sheet to look at.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of stuff. So there were seed dealers there. There was
Yeah.
brands that had seeds. There was chemical guys there. There was a lot of attractants, a lot of bait.
Yeah.
Which I was like, for our county,
Does us no good.
Does us no good. So we didn't really talk to those guys that much. But there was, the trophy blocks, the trophy rocks, what's the Big and J's.
Big and J's. And there was a implement company there that had sprayers and implements go on, ATVs and side by sides and different things like that, and small tractors.
You might want to talk about that one. That one sprayer we checked out. 'Cause that had some technology that I had never seen for small food plotting.
I don't even remember the name of the company.
But this is
That's
not
the bad
open.
thing.
It's not open like the public.
not open.
I think
vendors or dealers.
You got to be
Yeah.
invited.
You have to have an account with them or
Yeah.
be invited.
Yeah.
And
So-
we set an account up with them last year.
Yeah.
When we for something different in the shop.
So they sell, they deal in sportsman's condos too, which are made down there in West. Is it West Point, Mississippi?
Yeah, I think
West
so.
Point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're a dealer for some of their guys were there, and you could pre-book your sportsman's condos, and so we got us a few to sell that we ordered.
I mean, for the money, you cannot go out.
That's my
and-
favorite
You
thing.
can't go to Lowe's, Home Depot, and buy lumber and build a stand that's going to be as tight, sealed up for what them stands are.
So we're gonna have some of those Browning game cameras. We're gonna have some of those Wild Game Innovation ones. We're gonna have some of those stands here at the shop to sell. So,
Ready to go.
and we may put some of the cameras and stuff online because
Yeah, but that sprayer you was talking about, that company had and I don't remember the name of the company, but they have an app that would go with their sprayer, so you could match it to the sprayer, the pump speed, the pressure you had on it, and the nozzles. You poked in all that information, and then you went on your app and you mapped out your food plot, and it would tell you how much chemical water you kind of told it the ratio you wanted to spray. And it would tell you how much
Calculated
chemical
for it.
water and how fast you needed to run in that thing. All the thinking was gone. I thought that was really neat. But it
Yeah.
only works with their nozzles and products and things like that. I mean, you probably could use it with some of the other ones, but it was specified for theirs. So you go and choose your sprayer and you just whatever. I mean, if you
it was
had,
like dumbed down. wasn't
Yeah,
it,
it
Mike?
was-
'Cause it was
oh,
like
yeah.
color coded and stuff. It was like
it was all color coded and
if you use the yellow nozzle and you're using glyphosate or whatever,
Yeah.
this is how much you do for your
Yeah.
area. So it's kind of like how those big tractors have the field mapping now.
Right.
You do the same thing. You either go make a perimeter or you trace it out with your finger on the app,
Yeah.
wasn't it, Mike?
yeah, you trace it out.
And then it makes your boundaries and it calculates that square area and it tells you like how much chemical you're going to need, how much water to mix with it at just like Mikey said, what rate it's going to spray. And you don't have, there's no more like getting out, measuring 100
Measuring
feet,
100 feet.
catching.
I mean, I
catching
always
it.
hated that kind of junk.
Yeah, catching it over one nozzle for
Yeah.
a minute or however long it was and measuring it and all that. There's no more calculating all that.
I still do ours like that, even though I know what it is. I still have to do it just because I don't know. Sometimes it changes.
So why would you do that? Like, what's the advantages of just saying, okay, I know it's about 3 acres we're going to spray. I need to put about this much chemical on it. It's going to take that much water. Just go. What's your advantage?
I mean, if you just go and you're not spraying it, number one, you're going to waste a bunch of chemical.
It's going to look like it did our first 3 years down there spraying.
That's what
we would just kill it.
That's what I was getting at. You're really saving yourself money in the long run on chemicals, taking the time to set it up. Right?
You're not overspraying or underspraying either.
And you're regulated to spray that at a certain ratio. If you're putting too much in there, you can get in trouble. I mean, because if you
Too
put
much like round glyphosate, you can get in trouble for that.
glyphosate, not so much, but some of the other chemicals that are residual chemicals that stick around for a while. If you spray too much and it's a lot laying on top of the ground, the next rain it runs in the ditch and goes down to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Their cows drinking, it kills a bunch of cows. You paying for them cows.
Yeah. We don't spray
Not only that, you're gonna get a hefty.
We do
fine.
not use that chemical.
Yeah. We only use
You know,
the
you
safe
just
stuff.
you brought up a valid point talking about spraying and with the tractor you can set the speed in the tractor. If you want to do 2 miles an hour, you can set the speed and go. Well, you don't really have that advantage if you're spraying with a side by side or a four wheeler. That's kind of up. You trying to feather your foot. Why is it not something out there like a toggle switch on the dash for a side by side?
That'll run it at a certain.
You say I want to do 2 miles an hour.
I wonder if the John Deere Gators or Kubotas, either one of them, being there more ag tractor oriented.
Man, we'll
I
get
wonder
us a
if they might do.
2x4 and put under pedal on the Can-Am. That's the 3 mile an hour 2x4.
Yeah,
You gotta think about
it.
that.
It's hard because I know like our sprayer that goes in the back of the side by side, the one we use for smaller plots and stuff. I usually have to run about 4 miles an hour to don't get it up over 5. Otherwise you
Well, you get out there and you get
thin.
Well, you're keeping the same speed first thing, and then like
get zoned out.
lunchtime, you're ready to get up out of there. You're gonna speed it on up 10 miles an hour.
Just make some extra laps.
Yeah.
That's what I always do.
Yeah,
We're
Time
gonna
to get
spray
through.
all of it till all of it's gone. I mean, that's how I always used to measure it. So you knew about how many, whatever it was, a pint of chemical to so many gallons of 1 tank of water. You say, I calculated it, and it needed to spray this field. Well, I would run around till it quit spraying.
Yeah.
Just keep making laps and make sure I got it dosed with
Man,
burning more gas that way. I'm sure and probably using way more chemical than I needed to.
I mean, you can put, you can fill your sprayer all. You just say you have what is that sprayer? 60, 65 gallon, 55, something that's in
Yeah, I
the
think
ATV.
60,
So if you fill it all the way up and you're just going to spray 2 acres and you throw a quart of Roundup or
Whatever.
glyphosate in there,
Yeah.
to spray that field. As long as you run it out on that field, you got the application that you needed. Now, are you efficient? No, you burn a lot of gas. So you're trying to keep your diesel fuel down, your gas down.
And the chemical
Not spray
cost.
so much. Yeah, chemical cost is high, so you don't want to be overspraying. I mean, if you're spraying a couple little old food plots, it's not that bad. But you get like what we're doing, where you spray 30, 35
40
acres. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get expensive real fast.
You think most people calculate it out?
No,
I mean, I'd say weekend people like us probably don't.
They already know.
they look at the tag. All right, it says 2 ounces per gallon. I got 100 gallons. Want to dump it? Let's go.
Just make
Man, I
a tank and go.
I used to make Charles so mad at Tri-County. I'd call him, hey, man, I'm going to spray my yard. I got just a little pull-behind sprayer behind the lawnmower. Well, how many acres you spraying? How many gallons? I was, man, I don't know. I just want to know how many ounces per gallon I need to put in here. Man,
That's
I
all I
aggravate
got.
him.
Man, the first year I was married, me and Emily bought a house in town, or we was renting a house in town, and the front yard was immaculate. Pretty green, hybrid mute. I mean, green as can be. The backyard was garbage. So I was going to spray it myself. We married. I'm the husband. I'm the man of the house. I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
So I go in the backyard and I spray it, and I had I think it was a 20-gallon spray you pull behind your lawnmower. It wasn't big. I sprayed that backyard, put the zero turn in the garage, didn't think nothing about it. Everywhere I rode that zero turn in the front yard had the tire stripes. I killed everything.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked like racing stripes all in the
Yeah.
front yard. I didn't spray the front yard, but it was what was on the tires.
yeah. That's that's another thing is like when you if you put too much chemical in something, like if you got a target weed or something that you're trying to kill, like 2,4. Just say you're gonna spray 2,4-D for broadleaf, you can mix it so hot you'll kill a lot of stuff that you didn't mean to. I mean, I've done that before. My guy.
Well, it's easy to think, well, if 8 ounces a gallon, whatever, will kill it. If I put
16's
12,
even
it's
better.
going to really kill it,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thinking too.
It's going to burn it up.
Yeah,
Speaking of spraying, me and Malcolm rode, looked at all the plots this weekend.
yeah.
We got some wheat for days and clover for days. I mean, it's crap everywhere.
It is. It's time. It's time to get in there on them because it's growed up. And the wheat's got heads on it. It ain't hit the full
Milky
maturity.
stage or whatever they call it. It looks good though.
That's good.
We got some random wildflowers. I don't know how that's another thing that I guess we could talk about too is those 2 food plots have nothing but one has yellow flowers, one has blue?
Yeah, I don't know what the blue is.
And that's the only
I've
place the
seen
flowers
that yellow
are.
flower before, but I don't know. I just think it's in the seed bed. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Something
wasn't
we
enough to choke
stirred
them
up.
Yeah, you can't. I
It
don't know
looks
if you
good,
keep
though.
that stuff out. But
We
a lot of clover in it and a lot of wheat to nurse it, so it did its job.
We found some 4-leaf clover.
Yeah.
We
I didn't. I've never found one.
I ain't never. I don't know how Emily seen it because she wasn't
Yeah.
paying a bit of attention. She just looked down. There's a 4-leaf clover.
She got some luck that day.
The deer are liking it because I've seen one doe. She had a mouth full of crap right in front of the camera.
Yeah,
and it was
they
that
don't
big
eat-
old stalky wheat too. She was eating.
I wouldn't think they would eat. I think it would be too, like you said, stalky for them because it's like even in the winter when those food plots get to a certain height, they kind of back off of it because it gets tough. But I figured they must like it.
Maybe she reached down there to get a mouthful of something.
Clover and
Got
just
some-
accidentally got that. She wasn't being picky.
No.
They've been using it.
What about the old girl down at the trade show that was eating your French fries?
I ain't heard about this.
Colin, I hope you
Yeah,
ain't listening to this.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna call no names. I don't remember what her name was
I don't either.
anyways.
No, yeah, we got there. We went to a little meet and greet thing, and it was I don't know. You know, we blew in there late on Tuesday.
Y'all was late. Y'all left
Yeah,
here.
it was like
It was
9:30 when
probably
we
almost
walked through the
10
doors.
o'clock. We
man.
got in there. Me and Mikey didn't eat nothing. Like, we just hauled tail down to Biloxi. And we come in, dropped our bags off in the hotel room, go down there, and we go to the bar. You know, they're having a little meet and greet. So we got us a beer, whatever. And I don't know, after a couple of beers, Mikey, I said, we better order something to eat if we're going to
Yeah,
get
they
something.
called
So,
last call for food.
yeah. So we got us what was it?
Philly cheesesteak and fries.
Philly cheesesteak and fries. And I just left mine sitting there on the bar because I was talking. You know, me and Mikey were talking. We really wasn't eating, but we wanted something. Turned around. This lady's just eating on mine. She just dives right in. So I'm like, hey, you know, go ahead, help yourself, I guess.
Did you say something to her?
Yeah. I ended up cutting my sandwich in half. Let her have half the sandwich.
I looked over and this lady was squirting ketchup on Malcolm's plate. Just right on. She had made her own ketchup pile and was eating French fries.
Was she drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty
And
tight.
hungry.
She done bellied up on the bar and leaned up.
Then she came and got some of Mikey's, too.
Yeah, she come over and said, "Did you try that sandwich? That bread is awesome." I said, "You want some of it?" She was
I done
like,
ate some of his.
She was just picking off all her plates.
I don't know how to
I don't
handle
mind
that.
sharing. I'm a nice guy.
Well, they had a bunch of eating experience, so they stopped at Cooper's Meat Market coming back, got some beef sticks.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And they got in the truck, ripped the pack up, went chewing on them. They're like, man, these things taste funny. They supposed to be cooked. They didn't know that. They thought
What
they,
was it?
So it looked like
Looked like
snack
beef jerky
sticks.
sticks.
Well, about at Cooper's down at
Man,
Yeah.
y'all probably had the scours for y'all got to Jackson.
No, this was on the way back. Well, we passed it going down, and every time I
Yeah.
go by there, I stop because they sell. I mean, that's where
Man.
they make country.
if
Pleasers
you're in that
sausage.
area, you got to stop by there.
Yeah, they're making boudin now. They're doing what else? They were doing all kinds of
They
stuff.
had all kinds of stuff:
Yeah.
stuffed chicken, stuffed steaks, steak rolls. They had
Stuffed
mushrooms,
Yeah,
I actually like the
jambalaya, red beans and rice. They
smoked
had a lot of stuff.
chicken salad. They got pretty
they
damn
had
good
that.
too.
Yeah. Did you ever try that hoop cheese?
Oh man, that was the first thing I got out when
Was
I
it
got home.
good?
Heck yeah, it's like that old school.
I'm
like
gonna say, was
creamy-
it legit? hoop
Yes,
cheese?
it's hoop
Yeah.
cheese.
I mean,
So black
that-
rind hoop cheese.
Yeah. I didn't buy any. I should have. Though.
I should. If they'd had a wheel of it, I'd go back down there and buy it.
Just to get
It
the
was
hoop
so good.
cheese. Yeah.
I don't know how I'd get it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, so they had snack stick. They had all their sausages. You know, they've got sausages that we can't get in the store that they make just for the shop, or they don't distribute them like they do their regular sausage. So we wanted to pick up some of that stuff. Well, they had these smaller ones, and they look just like snack sticks. I mean,
Were they
about
refrigerated when y'all got them?
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, and so they had some jerky refrigerated too. I don't think you're supposed to cook it either. So we got to the truck, Mike, and it wasn't but like $3 or $4 a pack. So
Yeah.
Mikey got a pack, and I got a pack. We'll snack on this on the way home.
We didn't want to
Don't
stop
have to
for
stop
lunch.
and get nothing to eat.
Yeah.
So we get back, get back to the truck. We bought some pork rinds.
Yeah.
They're frying pork rinds there too. They had like crawfish bowl or crab bowl pork rinds. Dang good.
Dang good.
Yeah. So we're eating our pork rinds, and Mikey gets his pocket knife out and busts open the snack sticks pack, and I get one out, and he gets one out. It's a big long snack stick, or we think. Go to eating on it. And I said, man, I don't know, Mikey.
I wasn't getting no jalapeno cheese. I told
Yeah,
Malcolm, these
it's
ain't gonna do worth the crap.
They
They
got no
don't taste
flavor.
like nothing.
I said, yeah, they kind of weird texture too, ain't it?
So
It
at what
turns
point
out-
did y'all realize, oops?
We didn't want to say nothing. We just both went ahead and went
Yeah.
in neck deep with it, swallowed
just ate
both of them.
But they did cook warm ups. I ate a cooked version here
Yeah,
at the shop,
so-
and it was good.
As soon as we had, I don't know, it was 5 in the packs. There were 3 left. As soon as we got back to the shop, the air fryer was sitting on the counter. I said, I'm gonna see if you're supposed to cook these. So I cut them up into. No, I didn't even cut them up. I just threw
Yeah,
them in
threw 'em whole
there. It was
sticks.
like 5 minutes, $3.75, and cut them up. Man, the jokers were good.
Yeah,
They
they're
were-
good cooked.
They
I
were
don't know
really
about
good.
raw, but they're good cooked.
It's really just a smoked sausage in that small casing.
Yeah.
So it was fully smoked. I mean, it'd be
Yeah.
like I've seen you eat Redskin sausage, but just cut it open and eat it.
That's different.
No different than that.
I guess so.
Yeah. Would you eat a piece of their regular sausage without cooking it?
Man, you ain't telling me and Jamie used to eat raw breakfast sausage.
Oh, now see, I would not do that. It wasn't that raw sausage. It wasn't just like ground up meat.
It wasn't far from.
Cheese wasn't melting.
No.
No, the cheese was not melted.
That old raw high temp cheese, it tastes like nothing when we eat it.
It wasn't like the summer sausage we made. That's what I was expecting the texture
Yeah.
to be like. It didn't have any cure in it. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Did you get tied up on a porcelain?
No, I didn't.
No.
bother
Good to go?
me. Yeah, it was good. There wasn't no.
So
there
they're
wasn't no
safe to
issues.
eat if you don't
They're
cook.
they're safe to eat. But
Yeah.
they're much better
They don't
cooked.
taste that good, but
Much better cooked.
Did I wake you up last night, Mikey?
you did.
I did.
Dang, what time?
I was laying in the bed and we had just went to bed. I was laying there. I was watching some cooking show, and anyways, all of us went to bed. Kayla hadn't got home from work yet, and she was coming up the driveway, and I heard this loud, just booyah. It's like, good Lord, Kayla's truck backfired. Something's wrong with it. And then Will jumped up. And he's like, Daddy, you hear that gunshot? And I said, I thought it was a gunshot, but I wasn't sure.
It was in y'all's freaking backyard. We was on the fence line when we pulled that trigger.
So what happened? What was you after?
So
Mark thought something was after him, in all honesty.
I ain't gonna lie. You know, you've been out in the woods at night and you hear old screech owl or something just make your hair stand up. Well, that was the experience I had. I took the dogs out. Of course, we got a little bitty Chihuahua and we got a big Pyrenees. Took them out. As soon as I stepped out the door, I mean, I heard the most god-awful noise. I was like, I didn't know what it was. Like, I was around the front of the house, and it was from behind my house. I was like, man, that's freaking loud. Like, that's close. Like, whatever that is on top of us. So I got the little dog, let her finish doing her thing, put her up. Big dog don't care. He went on in the house, and I was like sitting there. I was like, man, something ain't right. Something's out there. So I put my rubber boots on, grabbed my little .22 pistol and flashlight, and I go out in the backyard, and I could hear it, and it's getting louder, and it's getting louder, and it's getting louder. Well, the neighbor behind me has a couple of horses in a little pasture. And it was out there with the pasture, like with the horses. So I text him. I said, hey, you up? And he's like, yeah. I was like, do you hear that? Because it had to be on his back porch. And he said, no. He said, let me go out in the backyard. And he texted me. He said, yeah. He said, what the heck is it? I said, I don't know. And it was just this weird, almost like you take a dog barking and a lady screaming, kind of mix it, you know. I mean, it was pretty eerie sounding. Well, I finally shined a light and I see its eyes. And once I got closer to it, I could tell it was a fox. Like, no doubt it was a fox.
Didn't run or nothing?
Didn't run, and that's what threw me off is I've never been around a fox. I mean, a fox is about scary as a coyote or bobcat. Like, they going to get gone.
Yeah.
And I
They ain't going to stick around.
No, I shined the lights on it. It didn't budge. And he was about 40 yards from me. And there was no way I could shoot it from where I was at because I'd be shooting back toward Mikey's house or anything like that. And I texted him. I said, hey, it's a fox out here with horses. And it was steadily nonstop just squalling.
I mean, horses out there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And about every 2 or 3 seconds, they'd let that squall out. And I mean, just nonstop. And he went in and got his AR, and he had I don't know what kind of light it was, but I'm finna get one. But he had a light on it, and heck, he turned that light on. That fox never ran. I mean, it was not even remotely concerned with nothing going on. Ended up shooting, killing it, and about the time he was finna shoot, I heard Kayla pull up in the driveway. Yeah. And about the time she closed her door, he shot. And I called Kayla. I was like, hey, just don't be, that was us shooting. Don't worry about it. She's like, yeah, Daddy's in here griping, talking about I done tore my truck up or something.
I thought she done tore the bumper off the truck or something. It was dragging coming up the driveway. I was like, what did you hit?
But
you didn't figure out what the fox was. They have something hemmed up?
No, I'm going to go out there this afternoon and look because there's nothing out there. It's open grass pasture. Like, I don't know if it was.
Could have been a field rat. Could have been.
I was going to say, I seen them.
Rabbit.
That same thing happened a couple of years ago. Right, it was opening day. Well, it was the day before opening deer season. I was packing the truck, and I heard that same thing. And they were running a rabbit or something, and they come up through there, and I heard them like Mark's talking about. It was just.
It's an awful sound.
Yeah,
coming up through there. I could tell it was a dog, but I didn't know, what kind of dog it was. I was like, man, something's wrong with the dog, And I got over and turned the light on. I had the gun with me already. It was in the truck. And it was a fox. It was chasing some of them rabbits in my backyard.
Did you see? A lot of times they'll team up. You'll see them paired up or 2 or 3 of them.
I don't know. In my mind, it would have.
It didn't run. That sungun didn't even. Yeah. It like come closer to me once I turned the light on.
Really?
Like it was not.
I don't know if they can get distemper or if they just get rabies or what.
Could have.
Something was up because I've seen foxes. I've had them in the front yard before. You crack a door on them, they're gone.
Yeah.
And I walked out there within 30 or 40 yards of it, and it never. And he walked out there probably within 30 or 40 yards, like walking to it before he shot it. Like it was, it didn't have a care in the world. You
should have turned old Gus out on him.
Man,
he'd have tore it.
I didn't know what. It sounded like a big animal. I ain't gonna lie.
You'd think it was a little fox. Was it a grown fox?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't that big of a fox, but it was a grown fox. And I don't know. It's one of them things. Like we live in the country and we got woods all around us. And you'll hear stuff every now and then, but I've never heard anything that tore up that close to the house.
Yeah.
Like I turned my camera on. My wife, she was in the back. I said, "Listen to this," and I turned my back porch camera on. It sounded like it was on the back porch. She was like, "What is that?" I said, "Oh no, we finna find out though."
They ain't never going in the dark again.
Yeah.
Which I always take a flashlight out with me because Gus will get out there in the bottom of the hill away from the house and you can't see him good. But I don't know, it make your hair stand up, ain't no doubt. So, what started Buck Junkies? And I guess first off, I want to kind of cover us. like who we are, how do we know each other, how old are we, what do we do for a living before we're doing what we now. Just a backstory to each one of us before we get started. Malcolm.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Go first.
All right, yeah. Well, I was in the barbecue. That's what I do. No, I mean, I've always liked hunting and fishing. I mean, my dad was not a hunter, so I didn't grow up, like y'all did, going with my dad or anything like that. But when I got into high school and out of high school, I had buddies that hunt and fished, and so that's pretty much who I jumped in and started going with. And look, I guess some of the first places I remember just hunting government land. That was a big thing for us because we didn't have money to join a club or anything like that, and we weren't, going and staying overnight. But there was always, Arca Butler Lake, Sardis, a lot of government woods that was close by that we could go hunt, and so that's what we did. And I just kind of fell in love with it. Well, I mean, as I got older, joined a couple clubs, things like that. I had one down in Oxford that me and some buddies kind of started. I joined, another one that was just like a dog club, running dogs and stuff like that. But it was just for fun, something to do in the winter. We didn't do food plots. We didn't take care of the land like we try to do now. But that was kind of my background in the hunting and fishing. I always loved going to the, the big extravaganza they had out there for
Heck
Ducks
yeah.
Unlimited.
I
all
wish we
that.
had Ducks Unlimited so bad.
The Redneck Fair.
That was it. I mean, I got into the barbecue thing. And so, I was working an office job, drawing buildings, for architect firms. And that's what I did for a living after college, and hunted when I could, but barbecued all the time. And eventually, I guess it was back in 2008 when the economy first started taking a dive. I'd got laid off from the firm I hadn't been at very long, and started concentrating on the barbecue side of things. I got a nice little severance pay and bought me some rub and got it formulated up and was selling rubs.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, sink or swim with that, and that's kind of how I started how to barbecue right. Me and Rochelle did it all out of our house, so it was working in the garage, filming videos either on the back porch or in the front yard. Neighbors, friends thought we were crazy, and teaching classes. And that's kind of how I met y'all.
Yeah.
Was teaching barbecue classes. And so it's kind of that's kind of
10
my
years this
backstory.
year.
Has it been 10 years? Wow.
2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we took your class in July 13.
Yeah. July 13 is when it was.
Man, it seems like a long time ago.
It does. It seemed like way longer than
Yeah.
10 years. Hard way to make a living nowadays. Hard
That's
on you.
right. But now, I mean, you look, so we didn't have, we kind of got our little place to hunt down there in Tate County. A piece of property come up for sale, and I jumped on it. I actually had a buddy show it to me. And Jamie, I think you went, did me and you go down there? Me and you and Michelle?
Yeah, we went down there.
We looked at it.
We looked at several different properties.
Yeah, several different
Hey,
ones, but I kind of liked the way this one was set up and didn't know that, it was going to be like a buck junkie. There was never an idea to do that, but I knew I wanted a place where, me and my friends could
Well, Mike
have
was
our
getting
own
at the age.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. Had a son. He was getting into hunting, and I just wanted a place where me and my buddies could go and do our own thing without having to answer to club rules or be on government woods or there's nothing wrong with that. I'd still hunt government land or go to clubs and stuff like that, but we kind of wanted something that we could make our own rules.
Yeah.
And that's what led to buying a piece of property. And then we just kind of acquired a few other pieces around and put together our own little club. And that's kind of what Buck Junkies is. It's just, in my mind, it's just, us buddies hanging out, creating that deer camp, sharing experiences, taking care of the land, learning how to do land management on a small scale. And then, hopefully shooting better deer every year as we, get older and our kids come up and hunt with us and other friends and stuff like that. So
Jamie?
I'm the old guy.
I was going to say, how old are you, Malcolm?
Yeah.
You didn't tell your age.
Oh, I'm 47 right now. I'll be 48 this August.
I'm hitting on, I'm 49. I'll be 50.
Yeah. Ooh, 50's coming up, huh?
Yeah.
We have
Got
to
to
have
build some handicap
I don't
stands
think-
now.
Yeah, we're gonna need some.
Jamie makes fun of y'all wanting guardrails. They're going to have a ramp.
How old do you get? We don't have to have a hunting license no more, Jamie.
60, I think. Mississippi, I think. I think.
One.
Officially retired.
I'm ready to retire in a way. No, I grew up pretty much. I didn't play sports in school, nothing like that. I was always riding four wheelers, hunting and fishing growing up. Yeah, I guess me and Mark, Lucky Daddy, always done it. Michael Jimmy always hunted, so we always had somebody
or somewhere to
yeah,
go.
somewhere to go. And my granddad, his sister had 300 something acres down the road, and it was like deer heaven. I mean, you go down there and see. I mean, you'd kill a pretty good deer every now and then on it, but it was just full of deer, and that's pretty much how we grew up hunting down there.
That was one of them things that I think we took for granted at that time. Like how we had it lucky enough you could walk out our back door, and within a mile of the house you had hundreds of acres to hunt wherever it was.
Yeah, we hunt. I mean, you get on 4-wheel and go hunting, fishing
Anywhere
any
you want
day,
to go.
any day.
Just from the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, looking back, that's something that like you don't have that now.
If you'd have known to buy that.
If I'd have
then.
known, you know, and
Yeah, 'cause I want to say that was 328 acres, and I think it sold for 130 something. What it sold for?
No.
Yeah.
but that was
back
30
then.
years ago.
Yeah, back then that was. I mean, my dad and them couldn't afford it back then. That was,
And it's
that was
all
pretty good
flood
money.
zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, looking back, oh yeah, if I was out of school, I wasn't out. I was still in high school at the time. But yeah, that would have been a game changer for us if we could have bought it.
Guarantee it.
I've always done construction. I built cabinets my whole life. I guess met you in 13, started hanging out doing the barbecue thing. Me and Mark started competing, doing classes with you.
What about caretaking? You did that.
Yeah, I caretaked at Hardin Point for, I guess, 10 months or a year before I got sick and had to pass it on. You offered me a job, and I've been doing barbecue and just kind of all grew from there. But as far as Buck Junkies goes, we're not professionals by no means.
Yeah.
And we don't,
Claim to be.
the stuff we talk about, yeah, sometimes we might not be 100% right or 100% what you agree with, but we're always open to your ideas or better ideas or whatever. We're just telling you our experience we have hunting and what we have with our hunting food plots and just, I don't know, making memories.
That's it.
I think a lot of it is we all grew up in a deer camp. And that's something like once I got older, you lose that feeling of going to deer camp, you know. And I think that's something that we're trying to incorporate and bring back, especially to share with, you know, our nieces and nephews and kids. And that's something that I don't know, like I guess it's kind of like Christmas when you're a kid. It's different once you get older. Deer camp's the same way.
Yeah.
But you look back and the deer camp we had was, we spent a lot of time over there.
Shoot,
But
every
now,
weekend.
heck, you can't buy. You're going to spend $5,000 an acre around here to buy anything, and it's almost not feasible. Average person is not going to be able to just go out and buy, you know, a 500, 600, 700 acres to have a hunting club on.
Yeah. Most of it's probably leased now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These bigger camps.
So if you, I don't know. Yeah, I do miss the deer camp.
I miss the camaraderie.
Going over on Friday and cooking out and hanging out all weekend. And
Tell you, I'm gonna bring it back one day. I'm gonna leave here at 3:00, like I'm getting out of school. I'm gonna find me an old Toyota. I'm gonna put Travis Tritt in there. Buy me some Budweisers. Well, I ain't buying Budweisers now, but
Yeah.
There's
Miller
one
Lite.
sitting
Look
behind Jamie's
yeah, look
over
out.
there.
You can be at a different deer camp
Yeah.
if you go drinking them.
get me some cigarettes and we going to deer camp.
Get some cigarettes. Take it way back.
Yeah, Travis Tritt cassette tape. That's what I'm talking about.
So Mark was probably
Travis Street.
10 or 11, maybe 12 at the oldest. And Parson is one of the guys that we always grew up hunting with at deer camp stuff. Well, Parson, like I say, Mark was little. Him and Parson both left out, and they went to Oxford.
I went to Oxford Walmart.
And so, like I say, Mark's a little bitty kid at the time. They walking out, they went to get groceries, everything was cooked for supper, and Parson sneezed or
He
something.
blew his back out. when he
blew his
sneezed.
back out. Well, he couldn't drive.
He couldn't raise up or nothing. We were back
Oh.
on the cheese aisle,
Yeah.
and he sneezed. And when he sneezed, he went over, and he never raised back up the rest of the week.
Prop him up on the shopping cart.
We got him out to the truck, and I drove at 10 years old from
Yeah.
Oxford, Mississippi to Abbeville, Mississippi.
Yeah, down number 7.
Got him back. Was propped up down there, standing up on F-150.
How'd you get him in the truck?
He could get we got him out there. And
Yeah.
matter of fact, one of the ladies that worked at cash register helped me get him out there in the truck.
Man,
And when he sneezed, he stopped and he was like, "Shit."
blowed his back out.
And then he's like, "Mark, I can't raise up." And I was just laughing. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was looking at cheese. You know? Sure did though.
So you drove.
Drove.
Deer camp memories.
I've drove many a time for people at deer camp for multiple reasons, not just blowing your back out. So,
There's been people blow backs out, blow teeth out, all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff at deer camp.
well, Mikey, what's your backstory?
I don't know if I should tell all that.
The legal version.
What's in the past is in the past, Mikey. He
Well,
liked hunting. That's about it.
yeah, I grew up hunting. My dad hunting fish, and y'all heard me tell this before, but sometimes we had to have it
You wasn't hunting for pleasure,
No, and
hunting for necessity.
it was a constant thing. I mean, we had something to hunt, fish, or all year long. We never stopped all the time. Very seldom did we stop hunting or fishing. And I don't know. I mean, I still loved it. It wasn't like work or to me or nothing like that. I mean, I grew up around it, and kind of.
It was your lifestyle.
It was just our lifestyle. If you wasn't hunting, you was fishing. As soon as hunting season ended, you got to cover all on and minnow bucket and went, try to catch crappie or catfish or something like that down.
You stocked the freezer regardless.
Yeah, we stocked the freezer and made sure we had plenty of stuff all the time. We always did. I mean, my daddy was good at it, and sometimes our tactics weren't always legal, but
but you had to eat.
But we got it done anyways. But anyways, I come up once I moved out of the house. Me and Thomas actually married sisters. Wound up being Mark Jamie's sister. When I kind of came around, Mark was 10 years old, so I was always hunting, fishing. He always liked going fishing and stuff. So if I went or Thomas went, Mark went with us a good bit. And
not that they wanted me to go. By God, I was going.
Did you hide in the truck?
No, I didn't mind taking him. It was a lot of fun, and I always liked being around kids and teaching them the stuff that I knew and stuff like that. But before I came here and before I'm started working at How to Barbecue Right and us doing Buck Junkies and all that, I was a director over the city utilities and the public works. And then you offered me a job, and I come to work for you. But we had met, we had met a couple of times at barbecue contests back in the day, and I didn't officially meet you until
you come down to when we
come down there,
first
help y'all
started.
do
Yeah,
something
we were
down
putting
there.
Broke your freaking leg.
We was putting up sportsman condos, the first set we got that time.
Yeah.
You wanted to jump off a gooseneck trailer like you was young.
Yeah.
I didn't jump off. I slipped off. That was a bad day.
Was
And it was raining. I stepped on that freaking rail.
slid
Man,
off.
that foot, it kicked me in the back of the head. It swung around so fast. And next thing I know, I was down on the ground. I was worried because Malcolm looked over at me, and he didn't really say much. He just kind of looked, and his eyes was big. And
That was
he
before
walked
insurance
around
was a
like he
thing.
didn't see it happen. And then he come around over here and said, "You all right?" I
don't
said,
know if
"I'm good."
You got up. You didn't stay down.
No, I kept on working.
I think we put a stand or two up.
No, that was the same day we all got in trouble. Me and Mikey had the chainsaws. And
Yeah.
we was clearing limbs, and heck, y'all trying to look. You and Waylon was like, "Damn, they gonna cut the whole forest down." We done got some trees
We took
down.
some trees down. I didn't know if we were supposed to or not, but
Hey,
it
got
was
to be able to look out at
Got
stand.
to be able to see out.
most sweet guns was in the way.
Yeah. Got to be able to see out.
But no, that's how I started, and that's how I met all of y'all. And I don't know, I just always had a love for hunting and fishing. It's been one of my main things that I've always done. I mean, and I've done it even with my kids coming up. They're both almost grown now, but I taught them how to fish and hunt and taking it with me, and all of us just kind of had that same love for the outdoors and doing better for the land and the people around us and stuff like that. And we always clicked and kind of come together with this.
Well, I guess. Hang on, wait. How old are you?
45.
45. Dang,
Man, we all old compared to you,
you
Mark.
old. I'm young.
Yeah.
So I'm 35 years old, and I guess Jamie kind of covered a lot of this. We grew up hunting. We grew up fishing, and I mean, big proponents of that was Daddy and Uncle Jimmy, hands down. And we had a deer camp down in Abbeville, and it was, I don't know how many people really, when I was a kid, how many people was in it.
It wasn't members. It was all just friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, but
Before it wasn't even a camp, we stayed in an old bread truck, looked like a UPS truck. And they took the front seats out and had 3 bar stools behind the windshield, and that was a kitchen table. Had a little, my granddaddy's old gas stove was in it, and then I think when I started going, Daddy finally put a heater in it. But it was just a bread truck, and then
With bunks, I guess.
yeah,
it had bunks
yeah,
and a
bunks
little
and-
couch with
yeah,
like
2
storage
couch
underneath
beds,
it.
a bunk,
Yeah.
Pretty much, you could, before we had gas heat, we had electric blankets and a generator. And a generator, I don't know, they must have made the most inefficient generators back then.
Oh, it never would run all night. You
Like now, we can go to a contest and we run a generator for 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
No, it's going to go dead about 2 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as it goes dead, you're freezing to death. And ain't nobody getting up to go put gas back in the generator. So anyways, we got gas heat. And I think one of the funniest thing was it was a 2-burner? It wasn't a big wall
No,
mounted
it's a
heater,
little bit, 2 burner, 1 burner.
but you could light the pilot light and you'd sweat. Like it'd get so hot in that thing.
I was high cotton then.
Then you cut that pilot light off, you freeze. I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't no happy medium. It was either you was freezing to death, he was sweating. It was nothing in the middle.
And then Uncle Jimmy was smoking cigarettes back to back, chain smoking in his sleep. So
in his sleep.
we all had secondhand smoke. You know, I was 5 years old. I guarantee I done smoked a pack of cigarettes just from him. You know, because he never let one go out.
The first time I come to their deer camp and stayed the night, Jimmy was under me. Jamie was over to my right. I could not go to sleep for Jimmy lighting cigarettes and Jamie opening Mountain Dews up.
Yeah,
Jamie,
that was when
Jamie drank a 12-pack of Mountain Dews and Jimmy smoked a pack of cigarettes. And it was all night long.
Yeah.
Man, we could have made a deer call.
Now
We're snorting and wheezing all night.
Wheeze.
Couldn't go to sleep.
that was when we was in the cabin.
Yeah.
You helped build the cabin, but
Yeah.
you never was down there in the bus, was you?
How many people could stay in the bread truck?
4.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Okay.
And
Cabin
then-
can sleep more than that.
Oh, cabin you sleep 20.
Yeah.
But and then we had that, and then James and them had a little camper, and then Paul Richard and them they had a camper
Yeah,
on the other
camper
side
too.
of us, and Kerrigan had a little shed he stayed in, and it was
Granted, we had no running water. You had an outhouse. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
old school camp.
yeah, it was
Just a
fun.
fire pit. Everybody
Yep.
hung out around.
Yep.
I had a fire pit built in the ground. My Uncle Jimmy would go to Co-op Tri-County and get, I don't know, 30 or 40 pound sack of peanuts every opening
Yeah.
weekend. And we'd sit out there and eat peanuts, and I'm sure there was some other stuff being drank and everything else. I didn't know no better. But that was deer camp for me, and that's kind of what really, I guess, sparked everything growing up, you know, enjoying it, going to do. And we would go in the summertime. You know, we'd go down there, go catfishing, and we spent a lot of weekends down there.
Y'all hunt government woods too, right?
Yeah, it was
It's
all,
all-
it was all
camp,
government.
Yeah.
Yeah, he owned 1, 2,
Like
3 acres.
So I don't even think, no, it's not. It's less than
Like a half acre?
Yeah, it's a real
Yeah.
small
just big
triangle.
enough for a lot and a little house on it,
Yeah.
and that was it.
And I don't know,
Everything-
like, is that still a thing where you can buy half-acre lots like that? Like, how
I'm
was
sure.
that?
So
How
that
did he
was
get that?
So it was behind camp was all private land to the left, I guess you'd say. So it was all government land. It left a triangle there, and I don't know how they sold that triangle. I mean, like I say, it was less.
Because there's several camps down there on that road
Yeah.
that are the same situation, like a little half-acre lot, camp, government land all the way around it. You know,
Yeah, so I
I
don't
wonder
know
if when they cut that state or that county road in,
something
they
that
cut
split
it
up
off from the other
sections or
side.
something.
Yeah,
Maybe something happened where it became private.
We had a, and again, I'm guilty of it. Heck, I hadn't been over there in probably 2 years. 3
Yeah, I
years
hadn't either.
probably.
but you know, me and Jamie grew up hunting. I met Mikey. You know, we hunted a lot and fished a lot together. And again, like Jamie said, we met Malcolm through barbecue, and that was kind of a never would have thought barbecue would have got us to where we are now, as far as like the community we're involved in and kind of what we get to do. And it's a
Gives us
blessing.
time to hunt.
Yeah, I mean, give you time to hunt and stuff. I mean, this is crazy.
Because luckily we don't barbecue too much in the winter during hunting season.
Oh,
And deer camp's got Wi-Fi.
Deer camp's got
we can work.
Yeah.
But met Malcolm in 2013. At the time, I was working at a Caterpillar dealer in Memphis, and I worked there 16 years, I think. And in 2020, right in the middle of COVID, got a job offer from Mr. Malcolm Reed, and that's one you don't turn down. So, and I guess really in 2020, Buck Junkies wasn't a thing either.
No.
It was, I mean,
We didn't
talked.
really. We were just going down and hunting, and then decided, hey, why not do a podcast
Yeah.
about hunting?
yeah.
I mean, basically, because all we're doing is talk about it anyway. We're down there, and that's pretty much what started it.
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, why not? I mean, we are like you filmed for, you know, YouTube and barbecue. I filmed a little bit for YouTube and barbecue. So why not take what we know from that and, you know, get content with it or talk about it? Because, I mean, that's
'Cause-
kind of what we want to portray is just this is deer camp. This is your
Yeah.
average Joe deer camp, hanging out, cooking, eating. We may kill a deer. We may not. You know?
So it never fails at camp. We'll put it on Outdoor Channel or Sportsman's Channel. We're watching all these shows, and most of them are just like commercials of
Yeah.
these, you know, products that are out there, and they're trying to get you to shell. They're showing you unrealistic hunting situations.
What is real life, real hunt?
Yeah. You see
Let
it
me
all
shoot a whitetail and a freaking zebra in the same stand the same morning.
over a big trophy elk.
Yeah.
But you know, you see all these hunting shows, and we grew up watching them. Don't get me wrong, I like watching them. I watch hunting shows all the time, but it's real commercial, and a lot of it doesn't feel real. And so that was kind of what I had in mind: is, man, what if we just sit down and we just talked about what we're up to at our camp, and maybe people would, you know, say, hey, recognize that's what it's like where we
Yeah.
are too, and you know, it'd be interesting. So You know, and we try to be informative. We have a lot of fun with it. I mean, it gives us, something fun to do for us.
I mean, I'm almost 50, and I've done learned more in the past year than I have.
Well, I mean,
simple stuff.
That was kind of the idea when we first sat down. Is just trial and tribulation. Some of this stuff that we're going to take and try. We're going to try to let's plant this kind of food plot, or let's put this out, or let's try this kind of stand and stuff like that. We're just. It may work, it may not work. We may not have done it right, but we pass that information on.
Yeah.
That way, if you don't want to try it or you want to try it, there it is.
Hopefully, it's
and it's legit. It's not no
see how it works for us.
Stuff.
Yeah. And I think
we're not faking it.
No,
I think
There's no
something
scripts here.
that
We
we've
got some
learned
bad writers.
is like when we started hunting, nobody back then, I mean, all the properties we hunted when I was a kid, I don't remember a single soul like, hey, I'm planting to manage this deer herd. Or, hey, we need to shoot 20 does off this property to manage this deer. Like, that was not even spoke of. All you heard was like, oh, it's got to be a 14-inch spread. We're not going to shoot nothing smaller than that, or we're not going to shoot nothing smaller than 8-point or whatever.
We're not killing does at all.
Yeah, not killing does at all. And everybody, all they planted was clover. I mean, that was clover or turnip greens. Nobody really went any further than that to figure out, hey, well, maybe we can get more protein from, ryegrass or this.
That's what people used to always. Man, you got to plant that ryegrass
because it gets green.
It'll come up anywhere.
It's
green.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That was what people used to plant. I remember my uncles. We go to their house at Christmas or something. They'd have ryegrass planted out in their horse pasture or something like that or they'd have a deer spot where they were going to hunt. And it'd be ryegrass.
I don't remember a single
oats or clover or anything like that.
I don't remember a single person when I was younger saying, "Man, you see that browse line? This browse pressure is, it's locked."
Oh, yeah.
You never heard that. And
no, because I mean, the average person in this, we've all been misinformed. I want to see. So you want to naturally get everything out of the way where you can see as far as you possibly can while you understand, and that's wrong.
It is.
Hey, I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of saying I want a big, clean, square food plot that I can see one end to the other, see what's coming, going. That's really the worst. Worst case scenario for you.
I mean, we made that mistake this year.
Yeah, we did.
And we knew better.
Plots. Yeah,
we learned this year. You can't take the cover off your plots.
Well, Kevin that me and Mikey met down there, and he said, you got to, I think it was Kevin, said, do y'all want a place that's pretty?
Yeah.
Or do you want a place that you're going to turkey, deer, rabbit, squirrel, whatever's going to be on it? Which one do you can't have both.
And that's the same thing John Grucci said. He's like, if you want that well manicured,
looks like a farm.
Get what you get on that.
Yeah.
If you let it grow, let it get nasty, let it get thick, and not unmanageable thick. You still gotta manage that.
Now, if you're high fence or multiple thousand acres, you can get by with some of that pretty stuff and keep the big deer. But like what we have, an average guy has, it ain't gonna work.
A good friend of mine, they had a place south of us, actually in Como, and beautiful place. I mean, they had some big deer. Well, they went in there and select cut it, cleared it all up, basically manicured every strip between the pines. I mean, it was beautiful Bermuda everywhere. And that was 5 years ago, probably. And he said they're just now getting back to where they're actually seeing bucks, like seeing decent bucks. He said once they done it, them next 3 years sucked. He said it was over. Mm-hmm. And he said finally they kind of learned they screwed up, and
they let it grow back
up and get some cover. Which, granted, there's certain things you need to do. You got to maintain the property, but say you go in and select cut pines, you open them up, let some of that vegetation grow up. I mean, we seen it this weekend where we done all the hack and squirt.
Oh yeah,
them woods look completely different. And it's stuff growing, and it's all, it's all kind of to better the land, better the herd, better everything on the land.
And it'll hold the deer
yeah.
instead of them just using it to pass through.
And it's a constant thing, especially, that depends on your budget and stuff like that. But, I mean, even with us, you don't want to go in there and just waylay the property and clean it off, get rid of every single bad thing that's on the property, because then you wound up with what? You just got a wide open place. Now you got to let it grow up. It may take 2 years before you get right.
That's the same thing like we was talking about earlier with the sweet gum trees. We're not going to go in just we're going to break it up in sections where you don't have everything all dead or
at one time.
Where did y'all? I know y'all told me this before, and I forgot. Where did y'all hack and squirt this year?
At the end of the pond stand. If you're
at the straight in front of it.
Yeah, straight in front of it. That little aisle and
sweet gums.
It's probably a quarter acre, half acre, or something like that, and to the left of that, or the west, I guess it'd be.
What do you think the future holds for buck junkies?
I don't know. I mean, just continuing to learn about how to manage a property for deer and other game hunting. I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest goal that I have is for us just to share our journey along the way. Hopefully, build a place where people that are into that or that want to learn themselves would come and interact with us and become part of that buck junkie community. I guess growing that. That's kind of what I see it. I mean,
Yeah, because
continuing to have fun. That's the main thing.
like you were saying, your dad didn't really hunt, so you had friends. Well, now growing up, everybody now, if not on social media, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, they don't. I mean, they might not know how to hunt. That's how they learn.
That's right. It is a good we have way more resources now than we did when I was younger.
That's what I wanted.
Easy to get to resources.
That's what I wanted to mention earlier. You see a lot of these, like when we grew up watching Outdoor Channel, it wasn't YouTube. So you had a ton of hunting channels, like hunting shows and stuff.
There really wasn't no Outdoor Channel. I mean, we picked it up. I mean, I remember hunting shows, but there wasn't we didn't have a Sportsman's Channel or an Outdoor Channel growing up, from what I remember. Did
I
y'all?
had cable where y'all grew up, didn't you? We had an antenna.
We watched.
We got 3 channels.
Yeah, Channel 10, Channel
You
18.
really didn't have no
10,
Outdoor
18,
Channel.
and 3.
You had Mississippi Outdoors and Mid South Outdoors.
Yeah, on the public on PBS.
Yeah, every Thursday we'd watch Mid-South.
I seen something the other day.
Outdoors.
Guy made a Facebook comment and said, "Look, Mississippi Outdoors, I love you." He said, "But we tired of seeing the same rabbit hunt and the same red fishing trip. You got to give us something new."
They got to come with something new, huh? They usually run the dove hunting one too.
Yeah.
And I can remember one of the first. Well, you couldn't get on TV all the time and just watch stuff like you do now. So you had VHS tapes.
I
Tapes.
was gonna say,
The first hunting tape I saw was Duck Commander,
Yeah.
and that was probably the first. That you had that and TK and Mike. That was
Oh
probably
man,
the
we
first
used to
two.
rent Roger Ragland's videos.
Yeah.
I loved watching him.
What do you say, Jiminy Christmas? Yeah,
Jiminy
Yeah.
Christmas. Yeah.
So you go to the library and rent hunting videos
For free, yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Who was the old man Daddy always watched? Talk about the moths and wolves done got in his gloves.
Oh, that was that Cajun.
Yeah.
Doggone, I can't think of his
What
name.
was his name?
You talking about
Hunter?
somebody didn't care?
Yeah.
That jug right there is smoking dope in a hard.
Oh, and hunt with the old hammer gun.
Yep.
I don't remember that one.
He was hunting government woods a lot of times, sleeping in the back of his pickup.
Yeah, had old
There's a bunch
Toyota
of-
with the camper.
I mean, I remember watching Hank Parker when he fished and then transitioned over to hunting. And
Yeah.
there was a bunch of those old, Primos had tapes out, Realtree's Monster Bucks. Do you
Yeah.
remember those?
Yeah.
I don't know how many
I probably
versions.
still got some of them
I
tapes.
don't know how
I
many
do.
versions of Monster Bucks they made.
I guarantee you, I've got 40. I've got all the Primos and all the Nightingale VHS tapes.
Really?
And
We
once
would
it
go to
was
Buck and
transitioned-
Bass just
yeah,
to buy
Yeah,
those.
just to buy the
Yeah,
new when it
yeah,
came out.
yeah. That was a big thing.
I still got all of them at the house. Ain't got a
Dang,
VCR to
y'all
play
are
on.
old.
We're real old. Ain't got a VCR. I might have a VCR.
I don't.
I think I got an old combo where
Yeah,
one side's VCR,
yeah,
one side's DVD. I don't know if it still works, but we need to take it down to camp.
Melissa used to hate hunting season coming up because I'd start in my library. Season 1, Nightingale.
Play.
It goes all the way through Nightingale, and then season 1, episode,
Oh yeah,
Primos.
that
go
was
all
all
the
we
way
did.
through.
Like, we went to deer camp.
Yeah.
Put one on that evening, and we'd watch.
Look, our deer camp, you had all the hunting videos in the top drawer, and there was a little cabinet right below it. Don't open that bottom one.
That would.
That's the wrong cabinet. Don't get that. Debbie does doze. It wasn't in there. I can remember. I can't remember. It might have been Primos when Browning first released that slug gun, and they was hunting with it. And that was like when he shot that deer with that slug gun. Everybody's like, "I want one of them." Like I want one of them now. But that was the good old days.
Oh yeah. What's the best hunting movie you ever watched?
The best one?
Yeah. What's your favorite one? Y'all have one? Or
Yeah, that one guy that Jamie was talking about, and I can't even think of his name.
the old Cajun guy?
He was old coon ass from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to have to give him my laptop.
I can't remember.
See.
That was the best hunting video I ever watched because he was
He was the
just
buck
natural.
junkies in the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a buck junkies in the 80s. He was just natural. He walked out in the woods. He had an old hammer gun. He didn't wear. He had some kind of camouflage on, but it was I don't even know what it was. But he'd have he just had on like brown pants and a camouflage jacket, and he would just go out there and sit in the woods and
He'd kill deer.
he'd kill deer.
I don't know. I probably watched TK and Mike.
I'm gonna
but
say
I watched
TK and
it
Mike.
enough, Yeah.
I liked all them old hunt movies,
Yeah.
but TK and Mike was something that was they were before their time.
Oh man.
If
They'd been
the-
out right
if
now,
they'd have had
be
YouTube-
or TikTok.
They'd
been
been
out.
game over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And them guys, that was, you know, clean, funny, just good time. And it kind of goes back to what you think of deer camp, like that was like
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid, deer camp was TK and Mike.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean,
You can still watch all those.
yeah.
They're on, was it Mossy Oak TV? Like Mossy Oak
Yeah,
has an
I
app
think
you can
so.
go to. You can get it on your smart device. And
Man, my favorite one was they hunt with that muzzleloader, and he said, "Man, this powder here says for reloading only." He said, "Hell, it ain't loaded. Reload it."
I like when they shoot no WW.
Yeah, waterfowl with them.
Yeah, the waterfowl with a maker.
See, I only had the.
He got all kinds of ducks and geese on that shot.
we got a speck, got a blue.
Here, take hey,
No, see,
yeah,
when
$5 dog.
$5 dog. See, I only remember the whitetail ones,
Oh, really?
and then
Oh, split toe.
yeah, when I
split
met
toe,
my
yeah.
good friend in middle school, Hunter, he had all the duck hunting, elk hunting, and I mean, it was it. I didn't realize they had that many
Oh, yeah, they had a whole library.
Yeah, it was a bunch of them.
when they got robbed in
Fishing.
Mexico and all that. You know, that was good stuff.
That was Three Stooges of hunting.
They were. It was basically
Two
what it
Stooges,
was,
yeah.
Two Stooges.
Those guys were pretty tough though, because they didn't do a lot of that stuff they done. I watched that one. I don't know, can't remember which one was which, but the skinny one had crawled up in the tree. They got a fishing lure hung, and the thicker one, he was down in the
Yeah.
boat, kind of holding him by the legs, getting him up on the limb to get it. He didn't crawl up off the boat, plumb out of the boat about 10 feet, and he fell out of that freaking tree and hit that boat
Oh,
on his back.
Yeah, wasn't no stunt
No,
guys.
no,
I was
no.
like, that joke broke. He's broke.
that's like the Bill Dance blooper tapes where he's
Yeah.
knocking his knee and
Man,
yeah.
falling back in the lake and stuff.
Didn't he get in trouble for one of them when the seat broke on his boat? They sued him or something.
Oh, really? I
The
don't
boat
know.
manufacturer did.
Really?
They said they shouldn't have showed that or something. I forgot what it was.
Made them look bad for
Yeah.
breaking it?
Oh, they better not send us nothing.
Yeah.
If it breaks, it's gonna be on video.
If it breaks, it breaks. Yeah.
Well, that's Buck Junkies.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's kind of the origin, how we got started.
We'll wait another year or so. We'll do this again. Hopefully, we got a lot more to add to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
You did some fishing yesterday.
Man, I
or
did. Me and,
weekend.
Well, I screwed up. I went to bring the golf cart back because I had to borrow the golf cart. My wife shot in a little skeet shooting thing, and I was going to carry the golf cart back. Well, I left the charger in my truck, so I was like, crap, we'll just go back down there. I grabbed the fishing poles, and we fished right there behind the house. Me and Jody did, and it was a nice day. It was windy and a little chilly, but, dude, I bet we caught 40 bass. And we got to get them out. Like, I should have kept some of them. I should have done something, but we ended up throwing them all back. But I think we probably caught, I don't know, 20 or 30 in the big pond, and we went over to the little wood pond, and we caught another 10 or 15.
I ain't
you
never
know?
fished it. One right by Wayland Stand.
Yeah.
There's
you-
bass in it.
Yeah, if you got bass like that, I got a pond management book that I got from the state in my office, but you're supposed to take 45 pounds of bass
Yeah.
out of that pond if there's
Yeah.
that many.
We're going to go back, and we're going to keep some, fry them up. I hadn't
Were they
fried.
big enough to keep?
Yeah.
You got a little flay off of
You
them?
could got a flay off of them. They've been some
Yeah.
little nuggets, but, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather them not go to waste, get them out of that pond, get that
Yeah.
water right. But I want to, we talked about trying to get some catfish and moving down there to that pond. I don't know if you got some big old channel cats, if it would help with the population of bass, if they would thin some of them out.
Or wipe them out.
I didn't wipe them out. But
They got their own purpose in there. I don't know if they'd eat too many of them. If they were starving, they would.
But did y'all cook anything? I hadn't. Not really Buck Junkie related. We cooked some crawfish last weekend or weekend before last.
Shoot, why ain't that bow junkie related?
Yeah, I was going to say I cooked crawfish for 2 days.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cooked crawfish
It's
and
that
crab
time.
legs. Me and Jamie's been steadily cooking hogs. So
I didn't cook last weekend. I cooked burgers. That was it. Just a good old grilled burger. I didn't do nothing special to them. Put a little prime beef and a little Worcestershire on them, and
old school burger.
cooked them. Man, they were good. Just on a Weber kettle. I hadn't just grilled a burger in a long time like that. Man, they're so good. It's hard to mess one up.
I got
And nothing smells better.
Yeah, just 80/20 ground chuck from Kroger, grilled over. I did like 2's on fire.
You should have had some old
Started
Max
them out.
Light. That'd have brought it way back.
Oh, yeah, it probably would have. But I cooked them 10 minutes over on the cool side of the grill just to let them start cooking some where you could flip them, and then moved them over and got them searing like there was a daggum Whopper from Burger King.
Flaring
They were
up.
flame kissed, yeah.
Oh, cheese had
Moved
that
them,
little
moved
soot
them
on
back,
it.
moved not, but I move them back up. I just get them good and seared on the flame, and then move them back over. Let it cook the grease off, just kind of on the cool side. Then lay that old Kobe Jack cheese on it, and don't even close the lid. Just watch it till it starts to melt. That's the best cheeseburger going, man.
I got the green light from the doctor this morning. It's game on.
It's game on.
It's time to eat.
I got the different light when I went to the doctor. He told me to
He
quit
told you
eating.
to push back. He told me to push back this morning too. He said, you might want to go swimming.
Yeah.
So,
Long distance swimming.
Distance swimming.
I don't go to the doctor.
That's why you don't go to the doctor.
I don't need him telling me what I
He
need
didn't
to eat.
specify swimming. He could go back to the Bahamas where you got to swim up bar. That's,
Yeah,
that's,
that's-
that might
we
be some good
swam all
swim.
week.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I got a pool in my backyard. And he said, yeah, I ain't talking about that kind of swimming. He knew what kind of swimming that was. He said, you need to go do some laps.
Yeah, it's lounge pooling.
Yeah.
Can I just lay there and kick my leg?
That's what you got to do. You got to put the cooler by the pool at the deep end where you got
yeah,
to
swim back and forth.
That's a good idea there. Put it the far corner across the
Yeah.
pools. Every time you get a beer, you got to at least paddle over if you're floating. I like to float.
Then once you get that
One of
mastered,
those seats, the pool seats you sit on. Man, I sit out there all day listening
Just
to
back
music.
stroke 'em.
Yeah.
you get that mastered, then we'll anchor the beer to the bottom of the pool. You got to swim down to get
You
it.
gotta go get it. See, you can make all kinds of little.
Well,
Stick the
that's
cooler.
all I got.
Well, hey,
What
We got
Oh, we got questions.
questions,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
yeah, we do got some questions here. Hold on, before we get out of here, Brian brought it to our attention that we brought some few questions for us that we need to answer. The first one that I wanted to do, Mike, was raccoon trapping.
Yeah.
What kind of bait are we using when we raccoon trap?
We're using peanut butter.
But we also
But-
found out.
Yeah. The problem with the peanut butter is that once you put it in the trap, it's in the trap. So, cleaning it out and stuff like that is a little bit tough. But it's the most effective thing I've found.
They love it.
They love it. It smells really good, and you can smell peanut butter. We can.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
far off. Wild animals smell it really far off. But that, and then a lot of people's using marshmallows, like the whole marshmallows. They'll set them on top of the trap or put some down in it, cat food.
I've heard of cat food. That's a easy, cheap one too.
Yeah, the marshmallow is really a visual.
It's supposed to mimic an egg. isn't
Mimic
it?
an egg. They think it's an egg or something, and they'll come over and get interested in the trap. And then they'll of course they're going to eat the marshmallow because you just laid it next to the trap or on top of it, and then they'll get the bait out of the trap. You just
Have you
kind
ever
of get
used
them
an
over.
egg? Like, what if you just took an old chicken egg?
Shoot, they
So-
cost
Them
too much
things too
now.
expensive. You
Oh.
buy marshmallows for way cheaper. No, I've never used an egg.
So here's your product. Go trapping eggs.
Trapping
Yeah.
eggs.
Get some leftover
You get
Easter
some
eggs.
chickens that don't like nothing but raccoon eggs. They love it.
Problem is, I probably put eggs out there and they'll get fooled and not even get the bait out of the trap
That's probably what it goes.
and then walk off. That'd be my
That was
luck.
one question. What's another one y'all see here?
The Boone and Crockett record for typical and non-typical, and where was it shot? I kind of you wrote the numbers down, but I pulled up Boone and Crockett website, and I might be wrong. But I'm just going by what they said. The typical was it in Saskatchewan? The
So that's it.
Hanson buck, I think.
Milo Hansen
yeah.
book. Yep. 213 is what it was.
That's
scored.
typical.
Typical.
Yeah,
That was a big deer.
yeah.
Now this is going by Boone and Crockett
Boone, this is
rules.
what Boone
Yeah.
and Crockett said on there.
That's
There
been-
may have been bigger deer shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's recorded with them.
Yeah. Then the non-typical
Was it St. Louis, wasn't it?
was
It was
St.
It
Louis.
was a
yeah.
pickup. Yeah, a guy. From what I understood in the article, I believe it was a ranger, a game warden, a ranger, whatever, went out to help a guy look for a deer. Anyway, when he left there, he was riding down the road and just saw something on the side of the road and pulled over, and that's what it was. The record non-typical that somebody hit on the side of the highway.
338 and 7/8 cents.
That thing's crazy.
Oh, it looks like a freak.
Yeah, it don't even-
338.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darn
Yeah,
it.
of
Mississippi record wasn't far behind that we talked about last week. It was
Yeah.
330 something.
That's just like us quick looking on Boone and Crockett's website.
So evidently, like a pen raised
does not count.
fence, high
No.
fence deer,
Not
you can't
supposed to
use it
count
because I mean
those.
they.
You can have a high fence deer, but it has to be, I think, over X amount of acres. It's like some stupid acreage. I think.
I don't know all the qual. I know they probably wouldn't consider it fair to be considered fair
Right,
chase or whatever. There's certain stipulations that make it. I'm sure there's bigger than 213 shot.
Yeah. Because they have a lot of
You know,
deductions and all
yeah,
that stuff
yeah,
too.
yeah.
But
That's like a true Boone and Crockett
Right.
score.
But just like we were talking about in that article that last week, that guy found that one in Kentucky. At that time, that was the largest deer in Kentucky. There's no telling how many deer
Yeah.
have gotten the horns got
Oh, man,
tossed
I
in the
don't know
shed, and
I should have brought it with me, but a guy sent me a message on Facebook about where that deer was killed. He knew the family or knew the guy or something.
did?
Yeah, yeah. And a buddy of his had shot one recently that looked like a good deer too.
We're gonna come out with a
There.
Buck Junkie scoring system.
I'll look. Remind me to tell y'all what that was. I meant to tell you when he sent. I saw it the other day. I didn't bring my phone, or I'd look it up now. But
Really?
there's one more on here. It's about Mikey's turkey harvesting.
Kyle asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He
Kyle
said
you
said
killed
you
the
didn't
turkey.
harvest it. It's not an ear of corn. You killed it.
I like your videos, but we ain't farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not farmers, but I mean, technically, you premeditated that, went out and shot it, so you pretty much murdered. That's like murder one. If you want to get technical, you meant to kill it, you planned on killing it, you went out there and shot it.
You thought about it the day before.
You thought, still thinking about it. You're probably a serial murderer.
I don't know if I could get convicted for premeditation though, because I wasn't. It wasn't that particular
one-
bird. It
That
was just
was
any
his
one of
look.
them. It was a bunch of them.
You was profiling then.
Yeah.
At the least, you was profiling.
That's a bad way to put it.
Is it a hate crime or a love crime?
A little
I don't know.
Definitely a crime of passion.
Yeah.
You
We
get
got
excited
bacon wrapped
about
in it. It was
yeah.
pretty much a love crime.
Yeah, I don't care whether you harvest it, kill it, murder it, whatever you do. It's dead.
We freezered it.
He's in the freezer. We done ate that.
We
joker.
grilled that one. It wasn't nothing
Yeah.
else.
We ate that joker.
Thank
It was mighty fine too. That video's coming out too. You can't. What do we call it? From gobble to grill.
Yeah.
Mikey shot that turkey that morning, and by lunchtime we was eating on him,
And it was good.
and it was fine. You marinated it for a little while and
Marinated him.
rolled it up. Seasoned.
Mhm. Seasoned
What'd you
it.
do? I had to call.
You all right?
You had a moment there.
At a moment.
Yeah, so we marinated it for a little while, seasoned it, or pulled it out, seasoned it, wrapped it, cream cheese, jalapenos, bacon, and then grilled it for a little while, and then glazed it with a barbecue sauce, one of your sauces.
What do you call it? It's not a turkey popper because it's not like the whole jalapeno.
Yeah, I mean,
You just
it's,
wrap
turkey
some
roll-up?
jalapeno- Yeah, turkey roll ups.
yeah, it's turkey roll up.
Dude, wild turkey roll ups are mighty fine.
And honestly, I liked them just without any sauce or anything. It was,
Yeah.
they were really
Very
good.
good.
Without the glaze.
Yeah, but the glaze is good too.
Well, so I don't think I could tell that it was wild turkey, like wild meat.
Yeah,
It definitely wasn't the same as like the turkey breast.
It tastes like to me some really, really like rich dark meat chicken.
Yeah. It's kind of that's what I would have guessed it was. A really good chicken or something. The texture on it was great. There's no gaminess. I was expecting it to be wild turkey.
Yeah, I've
but no
never
game.
got as many turkeys daddy's killed. He's fried them, done everything he possibly do with one. I've never had a gamey tasting turkey.
It's really good.
I do have a request while we're talking about cooking. I want to have a frog leg cook off.
Frog leg. We gotta go
Like,
find some frogs.
I want to get some frog
We looked
legs and
last
cook
year.
them every different way we possibly can just to try it.
Yeah,
I don't think there's no frogs in Tate County down there around camp.
like they used to.
Man, we can go
Dang
up there off
God.
Shelby Drive and Lamar.
Industrial Park.
We can get them.
Well,
Man, that's a good
I
place to
bought a
get
few
shot
that was
right
closer
there.
than that. There's a few up there around Northwest in them apartments and stuff
Yeah.
that
Oh,
we
yeah.
might be able to slip in there on.
Get them.
Yeah,
I guess you could order some. Surely there's somebody sells frog
Yeah.
legs, ain't it?
yeah, you can get them from Raymond's or Ramones or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
no, he
another-
sells.
I think so.
Mhm.
They sell.
That's another dying thing you don't hear. Man, we was a kid. We always we gigged or we caught frogs. You don't
Yeah.
ever hear.
Well, this time of year is it's getting right now. About
Yeah.
about the 1st of
It's
May
time
into
for-
April, you start gigging
Turkey
frogs.
season goes to frog season.
Mhm.
I can get us some. Buddy of mine, he goes to Arkansas to duck camp over about this time of year every year. And that's what they say. They keep everything flooded. And he said in springtime they go frog gigging. He said you can fill up a Yeti cooler.
Really?
Just no problem. Get him, bring us some back.
Well, hey, you might see the Buck Junkies frog gigging.
Bacon wrap frog.
Just don't let Jamie execute them.
You put them out of their misery.
Gee, Jamie shot all my frogs one morning. I couldn't stand to see them kicking around.
Oh man. Well, that's about it for today.
That's
Mark,
it.
where can everybody find us?
Man, y'all always check us out on all the podcasts, all the platforms, of course, YouTube. We try to keep y'all updated what we have going on. We got plenty of recipes for us to come out, and y'all make sure to check out buckjunkie.com. We're going to be hitting it with some new products here shortly. If y'all got any questions, let us know, and we'll see y'all next time.
We'll be back next week for another edition of the Buck Junkie Podcast. We gone.